Billy here, and Candy, and Front Row Promotions are in the house, and we are welcoming you tonight to Front Row Promotions, and we have American Jetset. I've been so excited to see these guys and interview these guys. Welcome aboard.
Thanks so
How
much.
are you?
Thanks for having us.
Amazing, actually. Just off of a couple of nights run up the East Coast. There's Skin.
Hey, Skins. Skins are just in. There we go. All right.
I made it.
He's here.
Yes.
Star of the show.
There we go. I just want to say how amazing you guys are. I had a wonderful time. These guys played at Bar 13 over the weekend with Kick and Valentina. And let me tell you, they put on one hell of a show. I'm just going to applaud all of you guys. And of course, I'm sorry?
Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I just love your music. And I guess you can tell by my promoting is that what's my favorite song? And I have the cat ears on. And Cat's Got Your Tongue.
There you go.
I picked up the CD and I got my shirt. I don't know if you can see it.
I'm still hearing you singing that back to me like 3 or 4 days later.
I was standing there debating what shirt to pick. And then I'm like, break down, turn it around. Oh my God, I just love this stuff.
That's it. You got it.
I was jamming, it was so cool. If you guys get a chance, get out there and see American Jetset. I know you're going to be traveling to, was it Tally Ho?
Our next show is actually at the Whiskey in LA. That'll be
Yeah.
Wow.
We're there on the 29th. Is it 29th, guys?
29th. Yeah.
29th in
with
LA.
Yeah.
Then we're back here in here where we live in Virginia, then back to LA again, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
we're does that across the country a lot this summer.
Wow.
Yeah. The Tally Ho we did last month.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Tally Ho you did last month, and now you're doing it. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We did that with Jackal.
So, I mean, guys, the Whiskey a Go-Go, like that's world renowned. Everybody around the world, musicians, fans, all know about the Whiskey a Go-Go. How did that gig come about? And I mean, you guys are following in the footsteps of several other stars that have walked through those doors. How does it feel to have that gig, and how did it come about?
I mean, it's awesome. So we all come from different bands that have played all over the country and all that stuff, and specifically my band had played there before, and I had developed a decent relationship with the guys that book it. And so when we formed American Jetset, that was just part of our plan. We formed this band originally almost like this idea of this bucket list band, like where we were going to make a list of the bands we wanted to play with, and that was just going to be our goal. Let's play with the bands that we kind of listened to or dug their music, and so we've been doing that ever since. And so the Whiskey was sort of was an easy choice for to go after in terms of a show, because all of our heroes and all the bands we love play there. And so that was one of the first things we did. And so the first year the band was playing, I think the first year we ended up playing was we ended up supporting Jack Russell's Great White at the Whiskey, and it was
on my birthday.
For me, that and the show at Kiefer was probably the best thing we've done to date. In terms of the shows, like just the way it felt, it was awesome. So as soon as we could get back here and get things settled, we started planning a next trip to LA, and so the Whiskey asked us to do the Pretty Boy Floyd's direct support to Pretty Boy Floyd on the 30th anniversary of the Leather Boys record, and then COVID hit, and then that show ended up getting rescheduled for the third time, and unfortunately we couldn't play it the third time. It got rescheduled, so here we go. So this year we decided, instead of that one show a year that we're going to do, we're just going to go out to LA and back 3 times before the end of the year. So now we're going to be playing with the DeMauls this month, which we're huge DeMauls fans. Then we go back out in September with Steven Adler and support Steven Adler there. And then we go at the very end of the year, on the last day of the year, we actually play on the very last night of the Stephen Piercy tour at the Whiskey to close this tour off.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow, very cool.
I'm excited about it.
Well, I mean, congratulations, as I said.
Yes.
That's huge. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes. I like last time I think I seen Demals. I mean, I haven't seen them in a while. I was back in the Hammerjack days here in Baltimore.
Yep.
And yeah, I just remember that name, and I remember seeing it because what I remember about that is I went to take a picture. You know, back then it was just cameras. We didn't have cell phones.
Right.
And I was tapped on the shoulder. They were going to take my camera. I said, "No, you don't," and I walked the other way. So yeah, wow, that's pretty cool. And I'm really happy for you guys.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. I always ask this question because I'm always inquisitive, and it's what I do. Where did your name come from? American Jetset.
Well, do you want me to take that one? I mean, the idea of the music, the idea of the music is all about it's just about the sort of fun, the Americana and the fun of the music that we play. You know, that is really what it was. It was like, you know, the music said it all to us, you know, and I think American Jetset kind of just at some point just rolled off the tongue. I don't even think there was any real debate about it. We had the name before the first record was done. I mean, but I think we just kind of said it out loud one day, and that was it. It just fit. Well, I will tell you this though, that the actual name, I should give credit where credit is due. The actual name comes from a song by a band called Kill Hannah, and my band 23 Days had toured, you know, and played with Kill Hannah forever, and it was actually the name of a song on one of their records, and it always just kind of stuck with me. But once we started writing the first EP, it was like, man, that says it all, and so that's where it actually came from.
Awesome.
Yep.
I think it's an amazing name.
Someday the logo will look good on a tour plane.
I like it. I think it fits. It's very fitting. It's very catchy. You know, it's right there. American Jetset. It's like, I want to take that jet and go see you guys when you're not playing close by, you know?
Now, a question that I personally usually ask when I do my interviews. I want to know who inspires you both musically and in your personal life.
Yeah.
I'll let these boys handle that.
Okay.
Musically, or just in general?
So, like, you know, when you got started in the early days and you decided, okay, I want to be a musician, I want to tour, I want to be in a band. You know, who inspired you in that respect, but also in your personal life? Like, who just inspires you to keep on going and never give up?
Musician wise, for me, I kind of had an affinity in my early years. I won't say how early, but it inspired that Ivory Les Paul back there. It was Randy Rhoads. I just talked my parents into convince them into buying me an amp and a guitar when I was like a certain age. I won't say it because that'll date me, but and then they did that, but they put me in saxophone lessons or something. I don't know. But I couldn't even pick up that thing. It's custom and it's heavy. But
did you learn to play Blizzard of Oz on saxophone?
I tried. We actually in the fourth grade band, we had 4 friends of ours. We had 1 drummer and 3 saxophone players, and we tried dressing up like Kiss.
Yes.
Instead of guitars and bass, we had saxophones and the drummer, and it was a train wreck. Kind of like that movie they did, where it was like Phantom in the Park or something. I don't know, what was that movie?
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
Kiss meets the Phantom.
Yeah, Kiss meets the and then I would say, outside of music, I got into music because of my mother was a guitar player, and she also inspired me. She had a Sears nylon string guitar sitting around, And I took it one day when she said she got another one, and I taped up the frets and wrote in all the notes. And I learned it after I learned all the chords. I tried to figure out all the notes on all the frets,
Smart.
and I started with that. And I would say, and then more recently, fast forward, I would say my better half, April, has inspired me to keep this dream going. So I credit her to let me still do this at my age. So.
Oh,
that's wonderful. That's so amazing. Ian, what about you?
Probably when I was a kid, I was about 9 years old. My mom was a young mom. I think she had me right at the edge of turning 18. And she used to drag me around to every bar in this area. And I'm from DC, Virginia area. So she dragged me to Louis Rock City to see Kicks, or who were the Shoes at the time. She dragged me to DC to bars there. One called the Keg to see a band called Lady, who our roommate was a singer of. And so I was just sort of drawn into music from an early age, probably mostly my mom, actually, because she was just a really young, driven person that loved rock and roll. And so as a result, I ended up loving it. My dad was a phenomenal musician, jazz musician. So there were always instruments around. I played piano at 6, and then at some point he gave me his guitar, which he should never have done because I sold it. It was a Gibson L6S, which is this solid maple guitar. It'd probably be worth today about $6,000. And I remember selling it, and I bought a BC Rich Warlock, which was just a disaster.
Those wacky shit.
Oh my God!
Riches are really cool looking. I like those guitars.
Yeah. But later, I think, as I turned 14 and I started to really get into hard rock, I mean, it had to be Nikki Sixx because I was just such a huge Motley Crue fan. And then later, as I get a little older, Robert Smith. There was sort of a transition from what I liked out of hard rock to what I found in alternative music, and then everything since then has sort of been a blend of all those things.
Very, very cool. Stan, what do you got for us?
Cool. Mine's not quite as exciting and cool as theirs. I mean, I just listened to a lot of different types of music. So there was, I'd say probably the first thing that inspired me to want to play guitar was when I heard Neil Young's "Rust Never Sleeps." In both versions of that song, the acoustic version, I went, wow, my acoustic doesn't sound like that. Why does mine sound like crap? And his sounds so pretty. And then when I heard this over distorted, blah, 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 somebody told me, yeah, the Beatles cut their speaker cones with razor blades. So I'm like running around the house looking for razor blades so I can like get that fat fuzzy tone my little PV that I had. So that was kind of like the moment I just went, yeah, I want to rock. But I there's a lot of different influences, and I don't really stick to kind of any. I mean, I love Randy Rhoads. I love Joe Walsh. I think is an amazing guitar player. People talk about great guitar players. They don't mention him that much. Like more lately, I've been really enjoying the playing of like Neil Schon. I mean, I liked Journey a long time ago, but that dude just is an amazing guitar player. Steve Lukather.
Lindsey Buckingham.
I mean, what was that, Ian?
Lindsey Buckingham, even. That's somebody I don't really talk about a lot, but I was influenced in a huge way by Lindsey Buckingham.
So, yeah. And then inspiration-wise, I'd just say my mom. She always just kept going. Never stopped. Never let anything slow her down.
Very cool. That's what it's all about. Lisa, back to you, baby girl.
Yes. Okay. Let me see. I always like to ask this question, how you got into music, and most of you, I hear you have musical background from your family background. I want to know when was your first concert? Like how old are you, I guess? If you don't want to say, but like, are or you could just say, who was your first concert?
The first concert I attended or the first concert I played?
Oh, that's both. Okay.
I'll go with the first one first.
Okay.
If I can remember, it's a toss-up because it was a little gray back in those days. It was either Ted Nugent. I can't remember if it was him first or it was Iron Maiden opened up for Judas Priest.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh,
That
that's
one,
a good
I mean,
one.
they both stick out in my head, but yeah, those are the ones that I can remember. I just can't remember which one was first, but that's as far back as it goes for me. I think.
Yes, yes. Oh, both of them bands together. Oh my gosh, yes. How about Skins? How about you?
So my first rock concert was Kiss, but my first concert was a group called the Irish Rovers. When I was a kid.
Okay. That's cool.
They had a little TV show that was on a channel up in New England, and I used to watch their little show, and then they were coming in concert, and I was just like, my mom surprised me and took me to that concert, and so that was my first official concert, but my first rock concert was Kiss.
Yeah.
My parents refused to take me to a Kiss concert. That's why it was.
No.
They saw the first album cover, and there was blood all over it and fire, and they were like,
Yeah.
They said
After
no.
I saw that first Kiss concert, I was just like, yes, please. Sign me up.
How about you, Ian?
I started going to shows with my mom when I was probably 9 years old or so. But I think my first official concert at a stadium was at Capitol Center to see Van Halen and Autograph when I was 14. And yeah,
that's amazing.
It was an amazing show. That changed my life. That was actually a life-changing show for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if I share with you guys the show I first saw, you'll probably be able to figure out my age. I can't even talk. Backstreet Boys.
oh,
I'm a 90s baby. Look, you go from Backstreet Boys to Kiss was my very next concert. There was no in between.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
One to the other, just whoop, and whoop, there it is.
You can get whiplash from them.
See if we've got comments, Lisa. I'm getting some text messages asking if we can see their comments.
Yes. Susan Burton says, good evening, everyone. Cheers from Susan in Toronto, California.
All right.
That's my mother. She's in Toronto, Canada. That's my mom.
All right.
And then she said, great stories, especially the mom part. We love our moms. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Kevin, you mentioned, who was it that mentioned Motley Crue? Was it you, Kevin? Oh, it was you, Ian. Sorry.
Yeah.
Speaking of my
probably
mother,
hears me play Motley Crue songs way too much during practice too.
Gotcha. Yeah, hey, speaking of my mother, we actually went to see Motley Crue together back in 2013. We were front row center for Motley Crue.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
Nice.
Mickey Sick passed right by us, and I reached out, touched his shoulder, and and got his guitar pick, and
Awesome.
The best way to see a show is in where? The front row, right? Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Mom,
My first concert was Alice Cooper. I had this really cool cousin. I had this really cool cousin, and he just, his room was like posters everywhere, and he's always talking about going to concerts and stuff like that. And I'm like, I want to go. I was 12. And he says, I don't know if you'll like this. You know, they're really, really, wild and stuff. I said, I want to see. So he took me to the concert. And when I first started out, I was country. And I never went back to country. I like it, but I'm all rock and roll.
There you go.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
I saw Alice Cooper early on.
Fact
What a
about
great show.
yours truly. Little fun fact. I used to be in an Alice Cooper tribute band. Oh, I don't want you to see my other pictures. Hang on. There we go. There's certain pictures there that y'all are not supposed to see. That's actually me back in 2000.
Wow, Candy, that's really cool. Look
There
at
you
you.
go. You mentioned Alice Cooper. I had to share that. Sorry, Lisa. Back to you.
wow.
Cool.
That's okay.
That's cool.
I usually have a wacky number 7 question, and it's going to be any off the wall, any kind of crazy question. Candy knows because I had interviewed Candy at one time before, and she knows what questions coming.
Oh,
Here it is.
man.
Here it is.
I burned about 1,000 calories laughing at her last night.
So what is your favorite, if you eat fast food, what is your like favorite fast foods that you guys eat?
Favorite fast food, right? Jesus.
Like, does fast food denote that it has to have like a drive up?
It could be.
Is that how we're labeling it? If it has a drive up, it's considered fast food. I don't know. Not McDonald's in Baltimore, I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you,
2 a.m.
Especially in the city, right?
Not the one in Leesburg. Man, that one.
oh my God, that one in Leesburg. I sat at for 45 minutes before I got through that line. That's the key. It's whatever's open after the show that before the 20 minutes to get through the line.
Oh,
Wow.
Fast food.
And
By the way,
I got.
why doesn't somebody have a fast food place yet? That's what I want.
Yeah. I think I got 2 cheeseburgers and 2 fries and a Coke, and it was like $38. I'm not sure what was going on at that McDonald's at 4 o'clock in the morning.
They
And
probably charged you for
only.
2 people ahead of you and 2 people in back of you.
And they were only doing cash only, so I think they had a whole side business going on with them.
Yeah. I think what happened, I just figured it out. Instead of that pay it forward where you pay for the person behind you, you were paying it back. You had to pay for the person that skipped out ahead of you.
That's probably what happened.
You know, that could be a dangerous thing. That could be a dangerous thing, paying for the person behind you, because I've heard stories where, you know, your order is only like $2 something, and then the person behind you is like 80 something.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, they're like a pledge from a local fraternity. They got stuck doing a burger run.
Yeah.
We got 85 cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I don't know. I think, I don't know. Burger King I like the flavor of a Whopper, but.
Me too.
Oh, I'll go with Burger King on that. My vote is Burger King.
Yeah.
Hands down with McDonald's, I'll take McDonald's French fries over anybody's. They just do it well. But
I try to stay away from
Wendy's
fast
used to
food,
do like
so.
those Western fries, but they messed up their whole thing. I don't like Wendy's.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to have this like ultimate fast food fantasy, like you said, the Burger King sandwich, the McDonald's fries, and the something Wendy's Frosty or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
it was always like, and nobody ever wanted to do that run. So,
oh, I eat Taco Bell and I have French fries with my tacos. You ever try that?
No.
Yes. It tastes good.
FYI, Taco Bell is the only place where you can get gas for less than $1.
Yeah.
Very true.
We before we left Pittsburgh, when our daughters were growing up, we stopped at a Taco Bell a number of times, and every time I just couldn't imagine how I ate that stuff when I was a kid. I was just like, why am I doing this? So
I've never had an In-N-Out burger.
Oh,
I've got to try an In-N-Out burger when we're out there. I've never had one.
Never had?
No, because I really have been like kind of off fast food for like 20 years now. But
That's it.
You're gonna
Eating fast food. We're getting you double doubles with animal fries.
You're gonna be like, why did I wait all this time? Why did I do this? That's what you're gonna say.
I just finished dinner not long before I logged in here. Now I'm hungry, you bastards.
No kidding.
Yeah. I want some French fries. Who's going?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's what Uber Eats is for.
You mentioned French fries. My cats are starting to come around.
Oh,
Huge. I got a good one for you guys. If you were to collaborate, let's do this individually. If you guys wanted to collaborate with somebody in the future, be it alive, past, who would that be and why?
good question.
Mm.
You're welcome.
I got one.
Well, go ahead, Skins.
I mean, I would not be worthy at all, but I would love to have collaborated with Freddie Mercury on something.
Oh, yes.
But he would have
Yeah,
gone,
Freddie.
"You completely suck," and he would have walked out of the room.
I got a couple of their songs that I always do every time it's karaoke night. That's me. I always do Queen songs. For sure. Good one. I like that.
You know, that was my first favorite band was Queen, for sure.
Wow.
I 9 years old. I just remember playing Sheer Heart Attack on repeat. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Ian, who would you want to collaborate with in the future?
I think I said the same earlier, but if I could ever write a song with Robert Smith, I'd sit down all day long and listen to the song over and over and over again. I mean, he was a huge influence on my writing and the change in my writing, and a hero of mine for sure.
Absolutely. Kevin.
That's a tough one because there's so many. I would say, and this probably is more towards the front because we've played with these guys is Kiefer. I just think the sound, something I listened to as a kid, something I worked his shows when I was in a concert crew throughout, college, and just growing up, even just playing with him, just the sound, the tone is there. I don't know. I'm not sure what we'd do, but I don't have as good as answers as these other guys, but that would probably be one of many that I could go through.
But I'll tell you this: I don't know if Kevin feels the same way, but Tom Kiefer was I think he's the most rock star person I've ever been around in my life, and he was everything about him was 10 times more than you think it's going to be to see him, especially up close, the way we were able to see, just hang out with some of his band and everything. It was just a totally different experience, and that guy is just phenomenal at everything he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very true.
So
Yeah.
cool. So cool.
Lisa, all you.
His voice is still great.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We got to hear him warm up at M3, and it was just insane. Just watching him direct the crew to get delay bounce backs and just commanding his knowledge of the of his arena experience was just awesome to listen to.
I worked one of his shows as a concert. I was backstage security, and I ended up having to stand security for a follow spot that was going to be pinned on him as they lowered him from the truss on it with a grand piano as he got lowered down to the stage. And it wasn't a stadium, but it was an arena, and it held about 20-some thousand. And just hanging out with him before, during, and after a little bit. And that was when I was like 18 to like fast forward to a couple of years ago when we played with him. And it's just the same feeling, but like everything that Ian said is just oozed, rock
It's really
star.
cool to come full circle like that. Like you worked with him at 18, and then you get to play with him many years later. That's really cool.
It was
Yeah.
incredible, actually. Yeah, a highlight of my musical career for sure.
So cool.
Very good.
So cool. Okay, let's see. What do you guys do to prepare before you go on stage? What do you guys do? Do you do like warm ups, singing warm ups, or just what do you do?
Oh, great! This is gonna be good.
I would love to tell you that I spent a lot of time warming my voice up, but it is not true in the least. I think what I do to spend time warming up is put the merch table together. That's about the size of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But also, just real quick though. Also, remember, when we're doing these shows, it's a lot of there's a lot of standing around ahead of time. But right before you go on, there's not a lot of places for us to do any of that stuff. Because sometimes the green rooms we're in have 10 people in them. Sometimes we don't have a green room. So, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of chaos that goes on around playing at our level. So it's really just a stand around and then all of a sudden chaos.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's-
Okay.
Because actually, Ian and I were just having a conversation about that on the set list changes that he wanted to make, because there are no green rooms where you sit around and stretch your fingers and warm up, and it's like, you know, I can't just step on stage and then shred. Like, I got to kind of build up a little bit because there is no green room warm up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say what I do to prepare to get on stage is I take one last pee and get a beer, and that's it.
There you go. Get it all stretched out and drink another one and get it going. I like that. I like that. Very cool.
The old spin stretch out.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I've done production and been an executive producer, and I'd say mentally go through like checklists in my mind, like even from the time that I'm driving out, or whether I'm driving out myself, driving with somebody in the band, driving with my spouse, just go through the checklist, you know, and from a funny situation to like, did I wear all the right bling? Like, do I have all my dangly thing, like all that stuff? What does this shirt go with that?
There you go. Yeah.
To you know, tuning everything, to tune the backup bass, mentally getting the stuff on stage and preparing for it, and I don't know. And then sometimes like that would be about it. I mean, I think one gig out of the entire time we've been doing this that I actually had time to like run the set before, and it wasn't on site. It was usually like before heading out. So that would have been the closest that I've been to prepare, but I don't want to wear out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean,
For you guys.
if I'm doing a traveling gig and I'm in a hotel room, I might noodle around for a while in the hotel room or something before heading to the venue, but
Okay.
you know, no real regimen or routine or anything.
Gotcha. Candy?
So this is another question that I like to ask a lot. Have you ever been starstruck meeting anybody? I mean, aside from Kiefer, like we know how much he means to you guys, obviously. But was there anybody else that you met? You know, actors, actresses, musicians, anybody, like, who had you starstruck?
Yeah, I mean, I know that since we've been doing this, there were a couple of moments where, you know, I don't know if it's starstruck. I wouldn't say starstruck. There's sort of you know, you have these sort of fanboy moments where you kind of catch yourself going, you know, just realizing that in that particular moment, you're standing next to somebody that you've been listening to for 20 years, 30 years, whatever it might be. And in those moments, I might catch myself going, you know, what are you doing? But, you know, with Tom Kiefer, it wasn't a matter of getting to meet him and fanboying out, because we didn't. He was sort of like off to the side. There was no meeting Tom Kiefer that in this particular show we're talking about. But, you know, we did get to meet his band, you know. So from a distance, you know, you can kind of fanboy out. But I don't know that if we'd met him, it would have been the same way. But yeah, I've had some moments where it was like tripping over words, talking to guys that I just, you know, wasn't prepared to talk to in that particular moment. But for the most part, we're pretty under control.
Very cool.
I don't know about these guys, though.
I've met a lot. I've met in my other life. I've met a lot of, you know, speakers, pro athletes doing things. You know, I grew up watching Andre Agassi, and he got to do a speaking engagement at this one place, and I thought I would, but he was just so laid back and cool to talk to, you know, that it was just like, you know, he's just a regular dude. I don't know. I would say ask the same question after we get back from our last kick at the whiskey. Things might change a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Skins, what do you got for us?
I have a feeling people are going to be out and about that New Year's Eve weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out there.
I can't really think of anybody. I mean, you know, usually when I'm around famous people, I try not to bug them too much unless they're acting like they're really friendly, and then we'll talk. But usually, if they're the kind of people that are pretty friendly, um, you don't feel starstruck. You're having a conversation just like your buddies or something.
Yeah.
The closest I think that would probably come to play is I was tour managing a band that was playing a show at Sturgis, and the other bands on the bill were Alice in Chains and Guns N' Roses. And
Oh,
I,
good.
Oh
I
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, so I was at the food tent or building eating, and Jerry Cantrell was sitting at the picnic table right across from me, and I didn't say a word to him. And then when we were walking back to the dressing rooms, it just so happened that we were both walking side by side on this long path that was like 100 yards long to get to the dressing rooms.
Oh my God, you were right beside him.
Yeah, I think we just talked about the weather. It could not have been more awkward.
Yeah. I know when I first met Brian Forsythe, I mean, I was a big fan of him when I first saw Kicks. And it was just recently, it was 2004, I think it was, or something like that. It was Kicksmas. And then later I met him through when he's in the other band that he had.
Rhino Bucket?
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you. And I'm like, as soon as we got there, and he was sitting down eating, and I'm like, I wanted to run up and go, hi, how you doing? Hi, but I'm like, no, he's still a person. He's eating his food, getting ready for the show. Don't scare him like that. So, so it was after the show they came out and started signing everything, and I still have a shirt that he signed. It was an MTV shirt, and I still haven't washed it to this day. Brian Forsythe signed, and he even put his little signature on my arm, but of course that one washed away. But so yeah, I was starstruck there.
I'm like you guys. Like I don't normally get starstruck. I mean, you might see somebody in the same room, or you might be standing next to somebody and be like, ooh, yeah, like that's pretty cool. I can't believe I'm standing next to them. But for me, if I see a celebrity, somebody that I do admire, under the right circumstances, I will approach them and be like, hi, I got a tremendous amount of respect. Can I take a picture, whatever, and the reason why I do that, if my mom is still watching, she can attest to this story. So back when I was about 17, I was sort of in and out of hospital system, but I won't go into detail. But anyway, my mom had gone down to the cafeteria one day, and Jeff Healey was sitting down there with his wife. And she ran. I don't mind Jeff Healey. I'm not, I don't know all of his work. I do have a lot of respect for him for what he does. But she ran back upstairs, and she's like, Candy, Jeff Healey's downstairs. We go back down, and he was gone. He had left. 2 weeks later, he had passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I try not to waste opportunities. Like, you never know what tomorrow will bring. So if I see somebody, as I said, under the right circumstances, I will approach them and say, hey, I did that with Tobias Forge from Ghost. I don't know if you guys know Ghost.
Yeah.
They mean so much to me, and I really wanted to meet Tobias. That's a story for a different day. And he was in a hurry, but he saw me there, and he came right up, shook my hand. He was so friendly. Yeah, so under the right circumstances, as I said.
That's
Yeah,
very cool.
you got to find the opportunity, like you said about the not eating.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure the reaction would have been different if you would have went versus if like Skins would have went like that would have
like right back at you.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah, it would have to be the right appropriate response to that to make it sure.
Yeah.
I
Timing is everything. Basically,
I actually met Brian Forsythe years and years ago when I worked at a record store, and I think the girl that he was dating or something worked at the makeup store that was right next door, and he would come in and just hang out at the record store and browse, and we'd chat and stuff. He's just a cool guy.
Yeah, he's so down to earth and very nice, and it was really nice meeting him. And I actually had the right timing, everything. So I'm really glad I didn't go up and go hi, you know.
I'll
Lisa,
tell you
do we have
real
any
quick.
more comments, hon?
I'm sorry, more comments.
Yeah.
Yes, we have Susan Burton, your mom, says, have you guys ever been to Canada? California.
Canada. She means Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
I've been
No,
there.
I've been there, but not recently, not in a long, long time. My good friend Athena is in a band that tours Canada a lot, and she absolutely loves it and loves the music scene there. And in fact, raves about the fact that the scene is so different and much more like Europe than it is here. So, yeah, I'd love to go at some point.
Canada's really great. Yeah, we do have a great concert scene and the whole that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
especially
been
Toronto. It's really big in Toronto. Toronto's
Yeah.
a big
I
one.
haven't been recently, but I think the last visit I had was in Vancouver, and I walked through Stanley Park in a snowstorm just because it was Stanley Park.
Of course, you have to. Same thing. If you go to Ottawa, you got to go to Capitol Hill. That's huge.
Yeah.
Or Capitol Park. I don't know. It's different than it is in the States. I keep messing it up. Anyway.
I was on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. That's about it.
Yeah.
I was too. It's better on on that side, and you see so much more. Yes.
That's my favorite vacation spot. Actually, it's it's my nice little getaway. That's very cool.
Awesome.
Very, very cool. Anything else, Lisa?
I do. I have a whole lot more.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. What's the style of the writing? Who does the writing? Do you all collaborate in the writing of the songs? And if you can tell me more about the Cat's Got Your Tongue, you know that's my favorite song. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the writings, it could be the whole band. It could be one person. I mean, our catalog is filled with those two models. I mean, it really just comes down to the moment. I think right now, like for this record that's out now, I wrote a lot of the material, and Skins was just coming into the band, but ended up contributing a lot on the guitar side because he ended up recording the whole record with us. And now that he's in the band, we're practicing and hearing things in practice. I mean, in fact, the other day he was playing something. I was like, wait, what was that? And he took his phone out and recorded it so we didn't lose it. So I can see that, we're going to get back to, a lot more collective writing probably. And so I think you're probably going to see, a bunch of different models from us over the next couple of records.
Awesome. Very cool. Now, if you can explain to me, Cat's Got Your Tongue, what's all that about?
Look at her. She's all giddy. I love it.
Got my ears on. I love it.
I really can't get into the exact storyline because that would be a terrible situation for at least the three of us. But basically, it's really about somebody that was just disruptive, and it ended up culminated in the lyrics of the song. The song is a lot more dramatic than the story really is, but it fell out of one of those kind of relationships, trying to just get someone out of your life. That's kind of how it goes. But that was actually, we had the title of the record before that song was written, before we had finished the song. And I believe after we got into the studio, I rewrote all of the lyrics of that song around the title because it felt right.
I just love it. And I love the beginning, the guitar. When I first heard it, when you put it on Facebook, and this is our new single, and I'm like, wow. And I just heard that little clip, and I'm like, I gotta hear more of that. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, I was at Teresa's this weekend, of course, because it was her birthday party and everything like that in Pennsylvania. And I kept trying to make the promotion of it. And it was that one little clip of the guitar and it went into a little bit more. And I'm like, and she's like, how many times are you going to play that song? And I said, as many times as I feel like it. But that's my favorite.
Whenever I'm editing ads and I'm doing it on my phone, and my wife is just like looking at me like, what are you doing? And why are you playing this time?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's another song I like too. I can't remember that one right this second, but I think it was the near to the last song you played at Bar 13. I can't remember the name of it, but I really like that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really good. But of course, Cat's Got Your Tongue is like, it's my song.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I got a good one. If you guys were stranded on a desert island, what are 3 items you would want to bring with you?
Ooh, good question.
Right. Stranded. Like by yourself, that's it.
By yourself on a desert island. Who or what would you want to bring with you?
A Wilson volleyball.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
No, I'm just making a reference because I actually just saw that movie on the other night.
In case she's watching, I just want to say I would bring my wife. Right.
That's a really good answer.
He's like, thanks for stranding me, Ian.
Yeah. Well,
in a boat. I bring a boat. That's what I would like on a strand.
Bring a boat.
And Wi-Fi, probably.
Yes, you gotta have Wi-Fi nowadays. You can't live without that right now.
I don't know why this conversation came up, probably from too many margarita nights, but I've always joked with April that if I was ever on a deserted island, the island would be made of tortilla chips and the ocean would be made out of salsa. So if those would be the 2 things, then April would be the 3rd thing because she'd help me eat my way back to the mainland.
There you go.
But yes, I would spend that time with her. Yeah, eating nachos.
I would bring a guitar, and I don't know, a record player and a Back in Black album, and then I would rig up like one of those Gilligan's Island's bicycles to power the record player.
I love it.
Lisa, what would you bring on a desert island with you?
Desert island with me. I'd bring plenty of suntan lotion because I love sitting in the sun. Oh.
That makes sense.
If I could bring my boyfriend, I'd bring Angel. What else? I would bring plenty of Pepsi because I love drinking my Pepsi. How about you, Raider?
I would have to bring Diet Dr. Pepper. I would have to.
Oh, is that good? Diet Dr. Pepper. That's good.
I don't know if it's good. He drinks like 100 a day.
Yeah.
She likes your Coca-Cola.
Nice.
So we have Pepsi and Coke wars right now. So I'm going to convert her to go to Pepsi. So we'll see.
You get the whole top row on my screen is Pepsi, Coke, and Dr. Pepper.
Hey, there you go. Nice. Yes, that's a good. Like I'll take Coke if Pepsi's not around. I'll take vice versa. I'll take Coke if Dr. Pepper's not around.
That's so right.
Coke could be like that last choice over there.
Where does RC fit into this list?
My
RC's pretty good too.
Yeah.
If there's no Pepsi, then I'll take an RC.
You know, Lisa, I'll pull a fast one on you. I'll just take all the Pepsi, dump it into the ocean, and force you to bring Coke with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I used to like Pepsi and Mellow Yellow.
Ooh,
good one.
Mellow Yellow.
Good one.
Yeah, I used to love Frosty root beer. You guys ever even heard of that? Do they even have that?
Frosty root beer. And then you can have a root beer float. You ever have a root beer float?
Oh yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
You guys are making me hungry.
Yeah.
Hey,
some munchies.
Payback. Y'all were making me hungry earlier with your Taco Bell talk.
Yeah. Kevin's gonna run out to Burger King.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go run out to Burger King
and then go hit a A&W root beer.
Now I have a question. If because we're on our silly question segment. Well, we also have some other serious questions. But if you could get into a time machine, where would you travel
Oh,
to? Yeah.
Like what era or
Yeah, like what era, like what year, that kind of
Wait,
thing.
are you referring to what era of our own lives, or what era we just would rather like?
Anywhere.
Doesn't
It
matter.
would be it would be your choice. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Well, let's see. I would love to visit the 30s. I'd love to see what the 30s would have been like. Right around the time my grandparents were born. I think that would be fascinating. 1800s, maybe.
Oh,
Not too far back where there weren't showers.
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, plumbing is necessary.
Yeah, nobody needs that.
This could come out of binge watching Peaky Blinders, but probably back in that same time period, maybe in England.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would love to go to England. Yeah.
I don't know if I could travel in time. I mean, I don't. It's if you go past like the 1800s, it's pretty brutal. So I don't think I want to deal with any of that stuff.
Amen.
Right.
You don't want to go back to the Viking era.
No,
Oh.
I'd like to go back to the 70s and with the knowledge I have now and just enjoy the music more because there was so much great music that came out of like the 70s and into the 80s. It was like the roots of everything kind of grew from that.
That's true.
Now,
Very
Lisa
true.
actually asked me that same question a month ago when I was on her show. I told her I wanted to go back to 1973 so I could go and see Kiss live in the early days.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody answered the future, so you see where we end up.
No.
That's true.
You don't want to see who we've toured with.
No.
Well, we all thought that Back to the Future was a pretty accurate depiction of what it might be like, and I mean we've got DeLoreans, but that's about it.
Too many paradoxes. Yeah.
Time or anything.
That's right.
I'd go back in time and tell myself to practice harder and more.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I find out from the future that I end up subbing in for Duff, I'm gonna have to practice a little bit.
Good one, Lisa. I like that question. That's good.
Thank you. I would definitely go back to the 80s because I just love that era in time. I love the clothing where we had holes in our pants, and that was the style, The hair, I still have, as you can tell, I still have 80s hair. I style it up to here. Aquanet, I still have Aquanet. So
there you go.
So that would be where I would go. Yeah.
They still make that stuff?
What's that?
They still make Aquanet?
Oh yeah. I buy it. That's what I use.
See, back in the 80s, I used to have my hair was out here, was every different color you can imagine. And I used to use that Paul Mitchell Freeze and Shine. Like
yeah.
I had all that stuff out here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
You have pictures? I
would love to see a picture.
There's one picture on the internet, I think. I have seen it, so it does exist. I'm not sure if it's still on.
Ooh. I know what I'm doing after we're done here. I'm hunting down that picture.
He's like, I'm going to hide that. I'm going to take it down.
I
want to see that picture.
I posted them myself, so I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
I think the 80s and Aquanet are responsible for that hole in the ozone.
That's probably true. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Guys, I'm really curious to know, given the climate of the world for the last couple of years, we want to talk about not the negative part of it, but the positive part. So what do you feel you got out of this whole pandemic? What were your positive takeaways from it all?
Anybody?
That's a heavy one.
Well, I mean, I'll answer first real quick, Skins, if you're still thinking about it. But I mean, our band went through a lot. I mean, in that time, and I think that I believe honestly, if COVID hadn't happened, our band would have broken up somewhere about a year and a half ago. And I think that COVID kind of put on pause the inevitability of that happening, and because of that, we ended up finding Skins at the right moment, and it was sort of a rebirth. So for me personally, that's a great thing that came out of it, that we were able to kind of hold on to this thing longer. Also, I think personally, a lot of personal development came out of that time. I was able to actually release a solo album or solo EP at that time that I was really, I'm really happy I got to do at a time when music wasn't happening for us in another way. So that was great for me.
Amazing.
Cool.
That's awesome. Kevin, what about you?
I would say, from a personal side, it's how much can really be accomplished from your home. And not just from the technology side, but family got a little closer because we had to, and not that wouldn't have happened before, but maybe it was the time in our lives, April and the girls, before we moved down here, the girls were in high school. Everybody was doing something. There was nonstop, baseball, volleyball, softball, running here, there, everywhere. And it put the brakes on a lot of things, and it was kind of like a reset button, I think, like similar to what Ian was saying about the band and the music. I feel I got closer to the family under these four walls, and got to learn how many days in a row I can wear the same pair of sweatpants and not totally offend anybody. No. Oh, and our animals loved it. I would say that was a definite positive thing. Is I'm a big animal person. We had 2 greyhounds. We've recently lost them, but I think we got real close with the animals. The animals loved every day that mom and dad were home and all of the things. So
yeah.
You also note that I got married during COVID, so that was a fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a very, very small audience, socially distanced.
Right.
Yes, correct.
And playing a private party during the pandemic was good, but not good. It was weird.
Oh yeah, you guys did the Kicks gig, right?
Yeah, it was
terrible. Yeah, we played with Kicks.
Yeah, it was weird.
And it was strange because, during COVID, obviously there was all the restrictions. So we played Tally Ho. And if anybody's been to Tally Ho seats 600 people. Well, this event, they were only allowed to invite 50 people in this entire place. And the people come down to the floor, but they had to be seated 4 at a table, spread out 6 feet apart. So it was just this big empty room. Now we made the best of it, and it was fun. And we were so happy to actually be able to do the show, play for the folks that invited us to support Kicks doing it. And then, of course, to play with those guys was really cool. And it just was strange to watch a band like them that required so much out of the audience to sort of just be playing to this big empty hall. You know?
It made you appreciate what we're getting back into, right? Live music, live, being out again. So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always see the positive side of everything. Like at first when the pandemic hit, I'm like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And then it's like, no, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna do something with myself because I'm at home. I've got nothing else to do. I'm gonna focus on something to keep myself level-headed and grounded. And that's where my show came out of, A Handful of Candy. So I've been at this now for a couple of years, and I got a chance to sit down, really hone my craft, practice, network, and just get myself out there. So I don't see COVID as a hindrance on it by any means. I see it as the most positive thing because it gave me my show,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we definitely learned how to deliver content in different ways. My other band that I'm in had recorded an album, and it was slated for release in April 2020.
Which band is that? Because I know you're in 2 other bands, or is it 3? Now it's gonna be 3 soon, right? 3 other ones.
It's 3 now. Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
3 or 4. I don't know. I always
Okay.
count. Yeah, Rape the Rat had just finished the record that we put out, Feel the Thunder, and
I
we
like
played
that.
a show at the beginning of March, and
Okay.
we had a record release coming out in April,
Oh,
and then of course by the end of March, the whole world had just shut down.
I
Nobody
know.
was
So
going
sad
anywhere. I
about
mean,
that. Yeah.
it was a crazy time, like just you didn't want to leave the house. If you did, you wore a mask, and I wore rubber gloves to go to the grocery store. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But we had to we really wanted to not lose any kind of momentum or steam with that record coming out. So I had a recording studio, and we just decided to learn how to do our own live streams, and we started doing live streams, and we did four live streams of the band playing live over the internet, and it went from, I think, maybe 2 cameras to 6 cameras by the last live stream we did, with multiple effects, and you learn as you go. And I think that while the creativity got stifled in that you couldn't go out and play and you couldn't really be around each other,
Yeah.
the creative side to figure out how can we still be together and do stuff and not be together and bring ourselves to audiences without being out in public. I mean, it was a crazy time. I mean, it's still a little crazy, but that I think there were some positives that came out of that, and we're doing this now from multiple locations, and
Absolutely.
I'd never
Do you-
done anything like this before.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys all feel like your communication got better as a result of everything that went on? Because you're at home, there's really not much else to do other than just sit down, practice, write music. But do you feel like your communication got better as well?
You mean in the band?
Yeah, like within each other in the band.
No.
Oh,
No,
dear.
I think that, I mean, listen, I'll just be honest with you. Everybody in the band has totally different geopolitical views and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, when something like this happens, and everybody's opinions are out in front and center, because we all have different views about things, then it kind of just pushes you all into your different corners, right? And that's what I was talking about earlier, kind of indicating that the band was sort of heading toward this place. And I think that COVID sort of just, instead of now, we're on right now, we're having this interview, and I'm loving it and it's great. But at that time, I actually just didn't want to even be online, because that's where for me, that's where COVID existed. I could walk out of my house. I didn't see COVID outside. I'd go down the street and no one was saying anything. People were out there jogging, having a good time. So for me, COVID existed in the computer for the most part. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to run away from just having to deal with it. And I know that the band for a while was trying to use a piece of software to practice. And I couldn't even bring myself to think about that. The idea of plugging into a machine, wearing headphones, not breathing the same air with the folks I was jamming with, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I'd say that it actually hurt communication because of those factors. And I think that, if we were to do it again, maybe it would be a totally different situation, because we've been through it once. Maybe now it's like, okay, lockdown again, let's get on with it and just do it the right way. But I think because this kind of came out of the blue the first time, I don't think it would have happened any other way than it did.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Lisa, do we have any more comments?
We have your mom said a lifetime supply of wine, Donny Osmond, and jelly beans.
That's the desert island.
She probably asked for a toothbrush then.
That was about the island question.
Island by yourself. Who cares?
And she likes the, like I said, Pepsi. Yes, she said Pepsi for me.
One thing, though, Skins, that we've all learned from the Wilson thing that you brought up earlier, is that you don't want to be doing your own dental surgery.
Oh no!
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Lisa, what else do we have?
I have a few things. You mean as comments or questions?
I want to hear more of your awesome questions.
Questions coming right up.
Well, while she's looking, I just want to compliment you on that amazing shirt you're wearing.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
I love it.
There
And
you
I
go.
couldn't decide whether to do pink or black. And I'm like, pink's my favorite color. It's pink.
There it is.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Yep.
All I see is a kitty cat and boobs. That's what I see.
Kitty cat and boobs. Yeah. What band would you like to collaborate if you were a musician? Let's put it this way. What musician would you like to, if a musician would travel with you for a month, what musician would you choose and why?
We travel with. You guys got one?
I mean, you mean like to just hang out or jam with? Or?
Like if he was just somebody that just wanted to hang out with you and travel for a month, like in where you in your travels, like for when you're traveling to do your shows.
Like a mini tour?
I would have loved to have hung out with the Foo Fighters, especially with Taylor Hawkins in the band.
Oh.
That would have been me. But.
So cool. Yeah.
I'd say probably Sammy Yaffa, Mike Monroe, or Izzy Stradlin. One of those three guys.
Awesome. So cool. So cool.
I love Sammy. He's the best.
Yeah. Yes.
I have no.
Oh.
I'm just getting pelted in my head, but you can't see it. It's all these names. It's overwhelming. So,
all right. Well, I have one for you if you want.
Okay.
Another one. How about Prince?
Oh, yes.
Prince alive or dead for this 30 days.
What?
I would rather travel with Prince alive than dead because that would get
Cool. Like, you take Prince's box and just take pictures with it. Everything.
I mean, it's possible.
Here I am with Prince.
It's 100% possible because you could just bring a hologram. You could get that.
Now there's an idea.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. There it is.
Now, if I was a musician, I'd want to tour with the Midnight Devils. Sam, if you're watching.
Oh yeah, you have something. You want to say something, Candy, about the Midnight Devils? We'll take this time to throw that in there.
Sure, yeah, if you want. So for those of you watching, if you've been following Lisa and myself, you know that we've been promoting nonstop for our friends, the Midnight Devils out in Nebraska. Really excited to say they've released their new single, Highway 69, which has reached number 4 on the rock chart. So congratulations.
Awesome.
Yes, moving on up. And their brand new album, Never Beg For It. It's coming out tomorrow, July 1st. Congratulations, boys. Second album. A very inspiring story, these guys. They're very close to me, and I'm so proud of all their success and their determination to get it done. So congratulations, guys.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yes.
Didn't Chip Zanoff produce that one, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you guys are going to love this one. So their brand new album, oh God, I'm having a brain fart. Never Beg For It. I just said it. I forgot. Never Beg For It. There's actually a Kiss reference attached to that album. So you guys will appreciate this one. If you turn it over and look at the name, I forget the name of it, but the guy that engineered the album also engineered Kiss's Revenge album.
Cool.
I forget his name. I'm terrible. I forgot his name. But yes.
I don't remember who engineered it.
Shout out to you. But yes, the same guy that engineered Revenge engineered their album.
There you go.
They told me they were working with Chip in Chicago. I know those guys. I know Sniper and them, but they're cool dudes. They're always traveling too. They're always working hard. They do the craziest live shows like ever.
Yeah, they do.
Wild. Yeah, I mean Sam hardly ever plays the bass. He just kind of whacks it and then runs around the room and.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're a great live band. Incredible.
So what do you like most about being a musician? What's the most best feeling or whatever feeling you have about being a musician?
I personally, I love writing, and I like, I because I've always said that I write the music I want to hear. I'm not saying that anybody else wants to hear it, but I write music that I want to listen to. So for me, writing is like the most exciting part of it, and then recording as a sort of a side effect of that. But I would say that in the last several years, as long as I've been touring my whole life, the most fun I've ever had performing has been in this band, because the bands I was in before this one were way more, it was sort of like the shoegazy, alternative rock type of thing, where you're kind of, you're sort of, it's a more passive experience. This has been a much more active experience, and I absolutely love it. So I'd say that right now, performing for me is maybe even topping the writing and recording process at this point.
It's a great way to connect with your fans, performing.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd say something very similar to that, because of, those things you think about when you're a kid and you're watching the bands that we all have mentioned or that have played with, and you have this thing that you feel that that's probably what they're feeling. And it's what Ian just said, right? It's now I don't have to think about what that band is feeling or those bandmates are feeling. I'm getting to experience it, right? That purview of, this is what it looks like on stage, and this is what it looks like on stage when I take a picture of the audience, and this is what it's like to do these things that we do. And I don't know, it's just having fun.
Amen.
Thought it would be stressful. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the writing, I love the recording, but if there's one aspect of it, the main aspect for me is playing live. Like, there's just when the band's playing, well, even at practice, even practicing live or practicing, I just love playing music, and you're all in a room, you're all doing your parts, and it's hard to describe. It's just so cool and so much fun. And I've had great shows in front of thousands of people, and I've had great shows in front of 2 or 3 people.
That's what's gonna be my next question. Like, what's it feel like to be up there on that stage and all the crowd out there, and you're giving them your music and they're loving it, and they're singing along to your songs? What's your feeling about that?
That is awesome. The more people, the better to the party. But in one of my past bands, we played a gig, and one person showed up. One person, and he said, "I think I'm at the wrong place," and he tried to leave, and we made him stay. And we put a stool right in front of the stage, and we bought him a drink, and we said, and we just basically played an entire show to this one guy on a stool in front of the stage, and it was a blast. I had a blast. It's just playing live is, for me, is it. I love it.
Oh, that's good.
But it's crazy though, because again, so I came out of a band I was in for 10 years where we did way bigger things than the band's doing now, but things that have happened during the time I've been in this band outweigh all of those experiences. And one of them was opening for Tom Kiefer, and having the audience, shouting the title of our song, in video that you can watch on our Instagram account. It was just this feeling that I've never had in my life, and we would never have had that if it weren't for what we've got in this band right now. It was an amazing experience.
How did you guys?
And we were, sorry, but the band I'm talking about before, we were on the MTV Music Awards Video Music Awards tour, and with All Time Low. So my point is, we had cameramen running around. That wasn't half the experience of everybody shouting that back to us at Tally Ho Theater with 600 people sold out, and just it was mind blowing.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, if I could just piggyback on that, actually, recently I interviewed and became very good friends with a guy named Martin Motnick. He plays bass for Accept. Very close with him and the guys. And I remember talking to him, and I was like, okay, so, you grow up listening to Accept, and take me back to the very first time you performed with them. And he said something that was very similar to what you guys just said about, audience reaction. Because when he was up there with the boys and they played Balls to the Wall, there's a lot of audience participation for that one. And he's up there, like, taking it all in. The audience is participating, singing along, dancing along. It is a feeling like none other, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure that feeds a lot.
They're in Europe right now. Cheers, guys.
Oh, that's so cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's what I live for. I mean, when I was a kid, a lot of albums that came out had live pictures on them, and I just remember as a kid staring at those pictures. There was Kiss and Foghat and even Journey, like, had pictures of, like, stadiums and arenas, and I just stare at those and be like, that's gotta be good.
Absolutely.
So what do you let's see. I think I've asked that one already. I'm just gonna scan through it. What's the craziest thing you encountered being on the road or going to your show or at a show?
I'm not talking about that. I'll let Kevin go.
He's like, no.
I don't have an answer.
I have some crazy stories that have nothing to do with the embarrassing stuff that Skins is probably thinking about right now. But I remember one time we were on the road and heading into California, and let me back up a second. We had a van that we called the Deuce because it was a piece of shit. Okay. And the thing was breaking down. So we decided, okay, we're not going to be able to drive this thing to California. So we had to go rent a trailer. So we rented the trailer. We went to go rent the trailer. It turns out that you're not supposed to rent a trailer being hauled by a Ford Explorer because Ford Explorers used to tip over and blow up and all kinds of stuff. Oh. So we took the Deuce. We went and rented the trailer with the Deuce, came back, moved the trailer over to the Ford Explorer, got on the road, did our tour. We were on our way into California, and this trailer blows a tire on a bridge in Death Valley going from Arizona into California. And this thing is banging up the side of the bridge. I mean, it's hitting the side of the bridge. We thought we were going to get dragged over this bridge. So we end up pulling over eventually. We finally get the thing under control. And we don't know what we're going to do because we're towing this thing with a vehicle that can't be towing this trailer, right? So I have all of us get back there, pick the trailer up off of the truck, lower it down. It was heavy. And I had them drive the truck away. We stayed and waited for U-Haul to come change the tire. And he's, of course, like, where's your towing vehicle at? And I'm like, well, we needed water, and we're in the middle of the desert. So they went to get water. Anyway, he fixes it, comes back. We get the thing back on the road. We're now in San Diego somewhere. And we had to get tires put back on this thing because the tires on this Explorer were shot. So we pulled over to Costco, took the thing off of the back of the Explorer, lowered it down. It's getting tires put on it. And then we get a call from U-Haul saying that our trailer is getting picked up because someone reported it abandoned in San Diego. So we go out.
We weren't supposed to cross the country with it either.
Yeah, we go out to the trailer. All the guys in the band. It was 5 of us. It was 4 of us and somebody was traveling with us. We pick up the thing, and we, like, just the craziest thing. We were walking the trailer with all 5 of us around the back of this Costco where we had to hide from the U-Haul people. That was nuts.
Oh no! Oh no!
Got away with it too. Thank God.
Oh
Oh
wow.
my God, that's so crazy.
Now that you said that, the U-Haul people are listening. They're going to send you a bill
Yeah.
now that
Oops.
the internet's out there.
Hey, 2000, that was in 2008, by the way. So I think the statute
Oh,
of
you're just
limitations on
giving them
U-Haul.
all the details, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The person you're looking for is
Like-
Barbie Rao.
um. So, what song or songs do you feel that are the best released?
You guys go. You guys.
By us or anybody or
You guys.
well, the whole last record because that's the only one I'm on.
Cat's Got Your Tongue. That's the best one. That's the one. That's the one.
Kevin, you got a good perspective then, since you played on them.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer this one because of the situation, but we can't play some of that stuff live.
Okay.
I mean, this album just rocks. I think Ian was alluding to it earlier, or Skins was the way this album came together felt. I think in the past, some of the songwriting was, somebody's got to go feed the meter at the studio, and then we come back in and there's a song being written. There's different kind of collaboration. This one felt like it had a little bit different of a path. There was some writing, there was some playing, there was studio time to record. The way it was recorded, things changed. We got in there and knitted it a little bit, made it better. I think we made it better. Now that I know that Ian played keys since he's 6, we're going to resurrect the keys forever after and try to play that live. But you heard it here. But someday we're going to get that song live, and then but songs like that everything became better than we thought they were going to be. At least that I thought they were going, and I thought they were already good to begin with. I didn't think they could get better, and then we released them, and the feedback we've been hearing. I mean, I just checked. Cats. Your favorite song is the one that's doing the best right now on all of the music streams. It's been sitting in the top 10 on our local rock internet radio station here, 97 Underground.
Woo! Yes.
So I mean, it's just it's doing good, it's doing well, and we're proud of it.
Awesome.
My favorite song on the record is Ever After, which is the last song on the record. I don't know how the guys feel about that, but it was not supposed to be what it became. And I don't think I could be more proud of that track if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's one that when Ian first kind of brought the demos in, it was like, okay, I felt like it had a Journey kind of vibe, but once we went through the process in the studio, that song and Ian's vocals with it took on this whole new life, and
Awesome.
And it kind of inspired the rest of us to play on it. And then, I mean, it's we're a rock band, we're playing these hard songs, and when we all left the studio, we're like, we have to figure out a way to play that song live. We want to play that song live. I mean,
that's probably the song that I like. Yeah, because I knew it was the Cat song, Cat's Got Your Tongue, and the other song, and it's probably the one you guys are talking and describing
with the piano and the piano song and the cello in it. And
yeah,
I mean, it's not something you would want to do live in a 35-minute rocking out set, but man, that song, I still the hairs on my arms stand up every time I hear
it. Awesome. What are your favorite songs from your teenage years? Did I ask that one yet?
Well, every time I hear, Round and Round is I'm a huge rap fan, so
yes,
Whole Out of the Solar record was a good one for me, but Round and Round just still kills. I mean, there's that never gets old. It's one of the best songs ever written, probably.
Love it. I do too.
That's
So that
I've got Zeppelin, Rush, Ozzy. Everybody's running through my head right now. I couldn't nail one.
yes.
Yeah, one.
How about you, Skins?
You know, I don't know. I'd have to say, like, I really love the Highway to Hell album, and when Bon Scott died, I thought that's it. The AC/DC's done. There's just no way a band can come back from something like that. And then when I dropped the needle on Hell's Bells and heard the boom,
Oh
boom,
yeah.
and then that opening riff, I was like, this is good. And then, you know, and then Ryan started singing, and I went, holy F, they did it. Like, they came back, you know, like, I don't know how you could come back from that, but man, they came back so strong. I'd say that kind of like blew my mind. And then every song on the record just was great. And I'm like, wow, they didn't just write a couple of hits with some filler. They wrote a record, a whole record, you know.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty huge accomplishment on their part.
Yeah, that kicked ass pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever met your idol?
Met an idol.
Yes, my mom.
There you go. Musical idols. I've never met any of my musical, like true idols, if you will. But I think the closest I ended up getting to one was Lawrence Tolhurst of The Cure, and I messaging each other on MySpace. That's about as close as it gets.
MySpace, huh? Wow.
Hey, listen, you know, it was the right thing at the right time, you know. But I mean, in fact, I'll tell you what. As a musician, I mean, I know that people that aren't old enough to have remembered MySpace or have ever used it. You know, MySpace came out at a time, and music was just happening on MySpace. Like that's, you know, you just went there to find music. And so while, you know, today, you know, everyone's on Facebook, it's just not the same. And there was a period of time where that was just the place to do it. I mean, and it's a shame we don't have something like that now, because there, you know, there's so much music still out here, and so much music still out there that people aren't listening to just because there's not a place to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think if they were looking for a fifth band for the stadium tours, that I could have checked a bunch of boxes.
Yeah, that's true. Not Brett Michaels anymore since he's in the hospital.
I hope he does. I hope he's okay. Yeah.
He grew up like 15 minutes away from me, and I never met the guy.
Aw. That's crazy.
I met him a few times. Good dude.
Did you talk about the weather?
No, actually. I was playing at Hammer Jackson. He showed up and hung out in the dressing room with us. It was really cool. Unlike the other tour I have at Hammer Jacks with a lead singer of a band.
He seems like he would be a really cool, down to earth kind of guy. I know he's very thankful when he's on stage. He's thanking everybody for everything, and yeah, he just sounds like a really cool person.
Yeah.
What would be on the craziest thing on your bucket list? Yeah.
I don't think my publicist sent me these questions beforehand. I'm totally
Craziest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have such weird travel, you know, things I'd love to do. I mean, I would love to see Egypt, you know, but there's not, I mean, crazy. I don't know if they're crazy. They're just, you know, they're just these weird things that are in the back of my head. And Stonehenge, I'd love to see Stonehenge.
Well, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Hey, Bubby.
Hi, Chloe.
Chloe had to say hi.
Hi, Chloe.
Chloe.
I don't know. My fear of heights is gotten worse as I've gotten older. I used to walk on a catwalk up through the tops of these arenas to do points for lights, and then I go to try to do bungee jumping at the beach, and it broke right before I got up there, and I took that as a sign. So I don't know. If there was a safe way that I could talk my mind into jumping out of a plane, I probably add that on the bucket list. But again, that fear of heights thing is still creeping in there. But maybe it'll work out.
I don't think I could do that either.
I can't think of anything. I mean, about the craziest thing I could think of would be like to stand up on the edge of a volcano or something, you know, down, not hopefully fall in.
Shoot.
I think in was it Iceland? You can go down inside a volcano on an elevator. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I know one thing I'd love to do. So my wife and I, when we met, we were planning on visiting Norway to see the Northern Lights. There's this amazing spot in Norway where you can get these huts that have a glass roof.
I was just gonna say the bubble hotel.
Yeah, exactly. They're like these bubbles, and you can kind of just lay there while the Northern Lights are just above you and doing their thing. It's absolutely insane.
Sounds kind of romantic too. I like that.
Oh yeah, it's really killer.
That's so weird. I just finally got Facebook to stop sending me posts when I looked it up like a month ago.
Oh shoot, yeah.
That's another question. That's another question Lisa asked me a month ago.
Yeah, would you like to share, Candy?
Yeah, should I remind everybody what I answered?
Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody ever paid me $55 million to go into the Blue Origin, the edge of space, I would do it in a second. I've always been fascinated by all that. So if anyone ever gifted me that opportunity, Elon Musk, if you're watching, come on, hook me up. That's just something I thought would be really, really cool to do.
Well, there you go.
That's amazing. Mine would be just the same thing that was in my time machine. I'd go back to
No. It would be to meet Joe Elliott.
You're right. I was gonna say go back to then and then meet Joe Elliott. Def Leppard's my favorite #1 band.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the one I want to see. And I almost had an opportunity to see them, but it fell through. But anyway, so but yeah, that's my band. I love Leopard Print, and before Def Leppard came along, and before I knew all that, the Leopard Print was my thing. But now Def Leppard, Leopard Print, that's me.
Awesome.
And these are Leopard Print.
I see something behind you there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my house is all leopard printed. When I have my other curtains in the wintertime, it's leopard all over the place. So, well, we're getting close near to the end. I just would like to know, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting out in the music business and music like you guys?
Well, I would say if your goal is to be in the music business, I would just turn around and go get a calculator, some finance books, and spend a lot of time doing that. If you want to do art and create art and have a great time playing and enjoying yourself, then this is the place. I mean, because the business of music, you can be in any business, right? And if you want to be in the business of music, it's just like being in any other business. And there's a formula for doing that. If you want to enjoy yourself, and this is something I had to kind of get over at some point in my life, that I just needed to learn how to enjoy myself versus trying to be something in this business. And so that would be my advice. Enjoy what you're doing if that's what you want,
Right.
But the two things aren't exactly always compatible.
Gotcha. Yeah. How about you, Kevin?
I would say, I don't know if in any particular order, if they all kind of meld together. Stick with it, because it's gonna, even just learning to play whether you're going to be a natural, talent like, and Prince and learn to play 38 instruments or whatever, from hearing, or if you're going to have to read sheet music your entire life, just put in the work. It does pay off, and you're going to hit plateaus like anything. You're going to be, oh my God, I figured it out. And then it's going to flatten out, and then it may go south. Just stick with it.
Yeah.
And don't get, it's hard to not get frustrated, but you got to try to get past that and just seize opportunities, like learn to recognize them when they happen. Like it's just like any profession. You watch, we watch AGT a lot, and you see these people that are doing, stand-up comedy or whatever their thing is, and they just, whatever the opportunity presents themselves to do it. And then have fun with it.
There you go. How about you, Skins?
I would just say, there's that thing where it says it takes 10,000 hours to perfect your craft. I would say get there as fast as possible. Like, I'm not even sure I've hit 10,000 yet, but I would have. I think that just perfecting your craft, and then finding like-minded individuals to play music with, and and then also, don't let anybody hold you back. Just keep going and striving for what you want to achieve.
There you go. How did you guys meet? I have to know that. How did you all collaborate together and meet and come up with American Jetset?
Kevin and I have known each other probably for 17, 18 years, actually, through a friend of ours. And Kevin helped out a lot with the band I was in before. And he's just always been a supporter on the musical side. And when this band was being formed, I think I turned to Kevin and was like, you play guitar, so you're going to play bass in the band, basically. and I actually brought him my bass and said, here's my bass, let's do this. And that's how that happened. And then Skins has been a friend of mine on Facebook for a long time, because we're just in bands regionally together. And I had never met him, even though I had gone up to Delaware, same bar we were at the other night, to see his band and a couple of others, Babylon Shakes, play at Bar 13. Didn't get a chance to meet him that night, but he was literally the number one person on our list when we were looking to find another guitar player. So
okay.
That was not the first text conversation we'd had, but that was how it all kind of came about.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'd come across American Jetset at a couple shows. We're in the same circuit. I'd caught some of their set, but then heard some of their music, online, and I was just like, I like this. I like this stuff, and it's very similar to some of the stuff that I've been working on. And and when I saw they were talking about looking for a guitar player, I contacted him. He was like, you were the guy that we had number one on our list. So, like,
there you go. Awesome. And together, you're an amazing group. You guys are formed well together. American Jetset. Oh my God, just amazing.
I gotta say, Lisa spoke so highly of you guys after she saw you over the weekend. And she had gone live a couple times. I've seen bits and pieces of your set. And when she asked me today to co-host with her, I was like, oh my God, no way. I get to talk to these guys. They're freaking awesome. So,
Thank you much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. It's awesome.
Lisa, before I ask my final question, do we have any more questions that came up from viewers, or?
Nothing else new, just from once before. No more.
I think my.
Did we lose Candy's mom?
No other new ones. No.
So the one thing I usually like to ask as well is, what are your goals for, let's say, the next 5 years? What do you hope to accomplish? What's on your radar?
I mean, I'll just answer personally. I mean, I don't think 5 years out anymore. I mean, I used to be a big picture
Uh-oh.
thinker, and the way I live my life
Crap.
now, I live for right now, and I find it. I try not to live in the past or in the future. So, but that said, there's a reality of scheduling things, right? And I think one of the things that has been brewing in the back of my mind is the idea of going overseas and following the footsteps of Wild Street and Kick and Valentina, and really putting together our first small tour in Europe, and continuing to build relationships here, and hopefully doing bigger and funner and more amazing shows sometime next year.
Awesome.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'd have to say very similar views. I think Ian brought it up earlier about kind of like this bucket list of bands we'd like to play with, or share the stage. And we lost somebody. And
Oh no!
I think Skin's thing turned sideways, and then
yeah, I don't know what happened there.
And
yeah, give him a minute, he'll come back. Yeah,
I think we made a list, and then we started crossing them off. Sometimes we added +1, +2, +3, or whatever, and then and it's just we keep raising the bar, I think, of who that's going to be. And I think some of the things that whether that goes to different venues that we start broadening out, I think some of that may help. So, and just to keep having fun with it.
Amen.
No, Skins.
I think Skins. Yeah, he's coming back in. Hang on there. Here we go.
Yeah.
There's Skins. There he is.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Sorry, my tablet died. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you went sideways, and I kind of went.
Yeah, what? It's okay. Glad you're back.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
okay.
good. If you missed the question.
Yeah, I'm on my phone now. So.
There you go.
Okay.
So if you missed the question, I was just asking, what do you guys hope to accomplish in the next 5 or so years? What's on your radar?
Is that me?
That's you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just keep playing music, keep writing, recording, playing live. Just do as much music as I can.
There you go.
None of us are getting younger. It's just
just
finally just
do what you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before I kick it back to Lisa, I just want to personally say, how much I appreciate you guys taking the time out to come and hang with us tonight. As I said, I've seen Lisa's footage that she took from your shows, and I was super stoked to be able to chit chat with you guys tonight. Yeah, so thank you very much. It's been great talking to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hey, we heard the oot.
Andy, thank you for joining in. Thank you so much.
Coming out, the oot.
I love her. I love her accent.
That's the first time I picked it. I got it.
Yes,
Canada.
yes. About and out. I love it. You got to love a handful of candy.
And process.
You got to love it.
I've been told before that I have an accent, eh?
Yeah, you sure do. You do. I'd like to know, what would you like to tell your fans at this moment?
Guys?
Just look forward for more, and I hope to see you out there on the road. Up shows.
So where could everybody find you?
AmericanJetset.com. Hit that up, and if you want to check out our label, bigcurvemusic.com, or no, bigcurvemusic something or other .net. All of our stuff is for sale there, and all of our merch, tickets, everything. But you can get there from AmericanJetset.com.
We're on all the major, Spotify.
All the major ones.
Yep. And make sure you come see us live.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, they're amazing live. I have the videos, Front Row Promotions. I have the live feed. Jump on there and see them. But you actually, seeing the video is great. But when you are in there, out there at the show, at the venue, it's a much better experience, and that's why I always say support that live local music, support music anywhere, support music in the making, and music all over, you know. And music is my passion, and my passion is following rock bands who make that wonderful music. American Jet Set, you are amazing.
Thank
And
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks,
you're
Candy.
welcome. You're welcome. Here's my motto. It's like, if I see something that I like and I love and it touches my soul, music touches your soul, I want it to touch everybody else in the same way. I want everybody to see what I see and hear what I hear. And you guys, I'm telling you, you very well much touched my soul.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for spreading the word.
You're welcome. And I'm going to continue to do that, because I'm going to blare this music out there in my car when I'm driving down the road. And I'm going to play that you know, my song, of course, you know, they can catch Patrick's song. And it's going to be as loud as it can get. Crank that sucker up.
Amen.
Another thing to keep in mind as well, sort of as we close things off, and you guys will certainly attest to this, you know, over the last couple of years, as, you know, live shows were taken away from us, people were, you know, sitting at home wishing they could be out rocking out at shows and supporting bands and stuff. And I think it's really important now that it's coming back in full force that people get out there and support the bands. Put your money where your mouth is, guys. You know, if you're not able to go out physically, because we don't know what your personal situation is like, but if you're not able to go out and support bands, hit them up for merch, show them some love on their websites, social media, share it up, and you know, help them promote that way. I think it's a really important thing to keep in mind.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes.
There you go. Yes.
There it is.
There it is.
Cat's
There
got
it
the
is.
song. Check it out, guys.
Awesome. Awesome. Get out there and see American Jet Set. Yes, we
All
love
right.
you. We love
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
you.
much for coming to Front Row Promotions.
Thanks for
And
having us.
you're welcome. And you are welcome back anytime. I would love to see you come back after some of your shows. I'd like to hear how your experiences are from being out there. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You guys do come
welcome.
back. I want to come back too. It's been fun hanging out with you guys.
Yes, I had a
yeah.
wonderful night.
Right on.
You too.
All right.
Awesome.
Front Row Promotions and Handful of Candy. Ooh. American Jet Set, everybody. Mwah. We love you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. I'm going to sign off here. You all have a great night and support that live local music and play that music everywhere.
You got it.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thanks for
All
having
right.
us.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
All right.